Welcome back to the Real World Project series with WordPress and BuddyPress. In this video, we will look into the advanced filters, the actual filtering mechanism, and the code analysis using ES6 JavaScript, Bootstrap, and jQuery. Let's get started. Okay, welcome back to the members index page. If you've been following this series, then you know in the previous video we looked at how this modal opens up, and once we click on a specific sports, how these two base filter and sport specific filter gets automatically dynamically created. And this time we are going to look into the actual code which shows how this filtering process is actually happening, combining all 9 elements here, all the select elements like female, availability, etc. But before we get into the code, let's go look at the diagram of how everything is working in the back end to have a quick refresher. Alright, so basically what's happening is as soon as the user hits the advanced filter or other filters button, a modal gets opened up and the modal gets populated from the local storage. We have explained it in detail in the last few videos, and then how this filter menu bars, the base filter and the sport specific filters, they get created dynamically. And once they are there, then all the buttons, we create the change event. Something is chosen like that. This kicks off a change event, and that change event collect all the values from the select items and pass them along to this algorithm, which in turn goes ahead and filters these members items out by adding or removing the display none class. And basically these items are being created from BuddyPress member loop, and while they're being created, I collect the data like sports name, their gender, their sports related items. All those gets collected from WordPress database, and they are added to that specific item as classes, so that when the algorithm comes based on those classes, it creates a string like that. Like let's say if it's a golf, handicap, and swing hand, all these classes get added up, and based on that string, specific item is picked and the display none class is removed to make it visible, and the rest of them are kept in a display none so that they get filtered out. And on the next diagram, we're going to take a look at how I'm organizing my code structure. Okay, so in this time for the advanced filters, I have the main module which will load all the other modules. In base filters cases, each button has their own dedicated JavaScript, and the algorithm is included in each. This is not very dry. In programming way, we say dry means don't repeat yourself, so that's not being followed here. But in this case, with the advanced filter, I organize the classes into three files. Basically, the bottom one would be a child of this one, the helper class, and the helper has a parent. This is where the algorithm stays. In this one, I'm collecting all the button items and adding events. And this one has the main function where all the data is organized and sent to the algorithm, and algorithm then goes ahead and creates these combinations of classes based on some math formula, which we will get to soon. Now let's go take a look at the base filter codes quickly so that you know what I'm talking about. So these are the base filters, and the code looks like right here under this athlete filters. As you can see, we have one JS for each, from the class year, availability, gender, location, etc. And they all have the algorithm built into them. Basically, all the select values are being collected as classes, and then a combination is being created. Since I had to deal with only 6 items, so I could actually do them manually. Like right here, it's 1 2 3 4 5, and then 1 2 3 4. Then it's a combination of 3 items like this, and all sorts of combination I've done manually. And then let's go down. At one point it goes down to 2, and then all the way down to 1 at a time. But the thing is, that has been repeated on every single one of them, so that's why this code is not that dry. But once we look at the advanced filter code, we're going to find out the improvement. So let's go take a look. The combination of classes that I was showing in the code is basically like this. Like right here, for simplicity's sake, I kept it to 3 items, like 3 2 1. That's how the algorithm works. The ABC, these letters are representative of the classes that the members' items are surrounded by. For example, right here, let's say if we go into inspect this item, right here we can see US football, female, available, verified. All these stuff are showing up here as classes. These are the ones that ABC in the diagram represents. Now let's go to the advanced filter code to understand better. Okay, we're back into the code, and right here, the athlete advanced filters, that's where the code are. This is the one where I'm collecting all the select items and also all the sports item related select boxes. It's huge because I'm dealing with at least 19 different sports. So once those are collected, here a set events function is called, where I add the change event to all the select items that were collected. And then one change handler function is called, and there I'm calling only one simple function, this.getSports, which belongs in the parents, because if you go all the way to the top, you can see available filter select extends advanced filter parent helper. This guy is the parent. This is the file I'm calling that function from, and this is where the reason I'm calling it helper is because it also has some helper functions that are used throughout this file and the child file, which are basically the advanced filter reset button and then back to the base filters button. This is the back to the base filter. This is the reset. Once somebody chooses something, this changes, but we can always hit this to reset. Now the reset is used in both the advanced filters case and in the base filters. So these are common, so I didn't want to write them multiple times. So these functionalities are included in the helper parent, advanced filter parent helper. So these are common functions. These buttons are being called and the events are placed, and these functions are taking care of those resetting filters and taking us back to the base filters. So this is not much to look at. Now this is the function in question, which I am actually calling from here, right here. For every single change event, I'm calling this one function, which belongs here. Now let's look at what this is doing. So first of all, I'm just collecting the sports name from the menu bar, this one, and then all the base filters are being collected, the values I mean. And this is the most important part, is the item, which is this guy right here. Every single item are being called. Just to make sure, let's go look at right here, item entry ASM. So this block right here, because this is the block where I am adding or removing the display none class to make them either visible or invisible. Now once these values are collected, I am putting them in a basic array so that I can use them multiple times in a short form. Like for example, once I collect the sports name, I'm putting it through a switch function where according to the sports name, I'm going to collect the value from that specific sports related select item. For example, since we're dealing with golf, let's go take a look at golf right here. So here we have position, WAGR, national ranking, swing hand, these guys. So every single sports case, if the sports name matches, we know for sure that these items are going to be available. So according to that, I'm collecting these items, and the base filters, since they are common, I'm sending them all inside this function right here, apply advanced filters. Now this is the function that has all the algorithm. Now once I highlight it, as you can see right here, it's actually telling you all the items it's taking. There's like A to I, pretty much all 9 items that are variables. By that I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base filters and 1, 2, 3, 4 of sports filters. So these 9 items are presented by A to I, A, B, C, D to I. So now let's go take a look at this function, where it is and what it's doing. All right, so we're looking for this function right here, apply filters, and this belongs to its parent, which is advanced filter parent. This guy right here is right here. Okay, now this is a simple function that doesn't have much, only one function, but just take a look at how large this is, right? So we are at line number 10 right now, right? But watch here what happens once we go all the way to the bottom. Look at this, 4,293 lines. So this is how large this algorithm is. So basically what's happening is that the item and sports, which are this sports name and this item block, these are common for every single one of them. Only these 9 are variables. So that's why I'm putting them inside A to I, A, B, C, D to I, 9 items. And since they're not always available according to this file right here, because as you can see, US football has only 1 extra item, baseball has 2. Just to show you, let's go back and choose US football. See, only 1. So what happens to other 3, right? So in this case, the other 3 will be empty, where for the golf one, it actually is sending all the elements like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, right? But in football's case, it only stops at F. What happens to these 3? What happens is, as soon as this function is launched according to this switch filter based on the sporting events, the empty ones gets filtered out right here. because the ones that are empty, they're going to be undefined. So I'm just setting them to all, which is a reset button. That means they're not even in the filtering system. They're taken out this way, right? And then here comes the filtering system. This one, the very first one, handles the set of 9. And just like that, it keeps going, set of 8. And this way, the combination number keeps going up and up. We have 7, we have 6 and 5 and 4, so on and so forth. Now, before we explain this, let's go take a look how these combinations were created using a combination math formula. So to find that formula page, I have to look for combination generator. And I picked this one. See, they're using this formula, they give me a result, and I kept adding the items right here and keep choosing how many digits per combination I need. So let's say 2, and calculate, and it would give me all the combination of 2 based on these elements. And then when I go choose 3, I get a combination of 3, and in case of 4 I get this, and so on and so forth. And this way all these combinations were generated and manually inserted. So at this point now you can understand that from here, once all the classes values are created, these values, and then put it in an array and send it to this apply filters. And once this filter is received, it's cleaning up a little bit, because in case something is missing, it's resetting them. Otherwise, it's putting them through all 4,000 lines of combinations based on 9 elements. And using jQuery, it's creating a string and adding or removing the class accordingly. It's removing the class if it finds the necessary item, then the item becomes visible. Otherwise, at the very beginning, I would have add class none to all of them. So everything gets invisible, and then if a full combination is found, then a class is the display none class is removed, and the necessary item shows up like this. Bam. And then let's go right hand and then change male like that. So this is the story behind the ES6 and jQuery based advanced filtering system using a combination math based algorithm. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.